Hi guys, how's it? Welcome to another video. First off, just want to start by saying thank you to all of my followers, my subscribers. Even if you don't, thank you for all the comments. I do appreciate it. To all my brothers and sisters in South Africa and Namibia, to my subscribers and my whānau in the land of the long white cloud, aka Aotearoa, aka New Zealand. I do appreciate all of the comments and everything. It really does. Something I wake up every day to check my messages and check my comments, just because I do like hearing from you guys, and I get all kinds of interesting little info and stuff that I just don't seem to get on an easy basis here unless I get on the internet. So as you can see by the title of the video, I have selected my personal best 15 for this 2021 Rugby Championship. I've tried my best not to be biased, being that I am a Springbok supporter, but I tried to just kind of do it right. The way I came up with my 15-man squad was I took every single position on the pitch. I picked 4 players for each one. I went through each round where I would knock off a particular player and move to the next round until I ended up with my final 15. Spoiler alert, unfortunately, there is not a single Los Puma to make my 15. Not winning a game didn't help, but I just got down to it, and I had one last final cut, and unfortunately Montoya was the final cut. So no Los Pumas, unfortunately, not to take away. It was just, not winning games probably didn't help the most, and they had a couple of close ones, but for the most part, they kind of got the brakes beat off of them every game, and it's an unfortunate thing because in the military they call it collateral damage. I think this is going to be the collateral damage of the collapse of Super Rugby, and I think it's going to unfortunately be something that continues to happen because they don't have a crap ton of experience playing their neighbors across the ocean. We obviously will see Pablo Matera putting on the Crusaders jersey this next Super Rugby season. I know a couple of them have played in Australia with like the Western Force. And hopefully, you know what, man, as a South Africa guy, if any of you Argentinians want to come and play in South Africa, come on over, man. We'll make us some empanadas, and we'll make you some portafors and have a good time. I've got no bias against Argentina. I actually support them quite a bit because they are in North America, or in South America. I am in North America. But like I said, this is just, I think, going to be the unfortunate collateral damage that's going to happen with the collapse of Super Rugby. With the Jaguares no longer in the competition, I think they're definitely going to kind of start suffering quite a bit from not having that competition against their southern hemisphere foes on a year-round basis. But let's go ahead and get into this. We will start from 9 and go up to 15, and then we'll go from 1 to 8. Like I said, some of these, it's just my personal opinion. If it's something that I feel maybe might be a little bit of controversy about, I will kind of let you know why I picked the person and whatnot. Some of them are pretty straightforward. So let's break it down. I'll put the list below, and you guys can let me know what you think. Maybe I made some wrong picks in your mind. I'm pretty sure I'll have a few that you'll be like, nah, I want to pick that guy. But we'll go ahead and get it started. So starting at number 9, we have Tate McDermott of Australia. Once again, I'm not like, I still think there's like guys that are a little bit more flashy, but the fact of the matter is that my favorite player in the world being Faf de Klerk, he did kick the ball away too damn much, and I think cost us a couple of victories in the tournament. And Tate McDermott was pretty solid there. Obviously, we saw how solid he was once he got a guy at number 10 who did not make my list because I cannot stand Quade Santini Cooper. You have 2 good games, 3 good games. You're not back, but you know what? He did great for the tournament. We will go back to number 10 at fly half, and I have picked even though he made me want to strangle him more times than I wanted to in the tournament, that would be Pollard. And you might be asking why, because his boot was what lost us some games. I'm picking him just based on the fact that he did score the most points in the entire tournament at 66 points. Did he play great? No, not by any means. I'm picking him just because I hate Quint Santini Cooper more than anything. And we really didn't get to see much out of Bowden Barrett or Richie Mo'unga. And even Nicolas Sanchez was kind of in and out of the whole thing there in Argentina. So I picked Andre just based on the 66 points. That was strictly what that selection was based upon. Now we will go to our 11 and 14, our wings, and I will start out at 11 with Makazole Mapimpi, a guy that, had Cheslin Colby, I think, played in this entire tournament. Probably wouldn't have been, he would have been a game changer, but I still think that Colby would have gotten the lion's share of that spotlight, but unfortunately he got injured, so we didn't get to see him a whole lot. And he was money when he did get his chances to shine. He did shine very brightly, and I don't think he was necessarily I thought he did a great job for the opportunities that he did have. He didn't obviously get in the mix a lot. We kind of had that problem as a team throughout the entire tournament. Our backs were not getting involved. But he is my number 11. At 14, we will go back to another Aussie, Andrew Kellaway, another guy that I think had an amazing tournament. I'm not huge on the Wallabies, and everybody kind of knows that, but they did play very well. I think eventually, the sting of getting beaten by the All Blacks 3 times in a row did wear off a bit, and then they went on a 4-game tear towards the end there, and obviously came in second place in the tournament. And Kelloway, I think, was a really, really big contributor to that. He did his job and he did it well. I really think that if Colby had been healthy, that would be Colby at 14. Savea Reese had some moments of flash too, but Will Jordan, I think, was even better for the All Blacks at 14 than Savea Reese was. But I ended up picking Kelloway at the end of the day just because I thought he played absolutely lights out. Then we go to our centers, and at number 12, I don't think there's any question of the benefit that this gentleman made for his team throughout the entire tournament, and that's Samu Kerevi of Australia. God, what a beast, what a proper unit that guy is. Big body, bowls him down running in. He played really, really great. I enjoyed even the 2 games that we lost to them, and then going back and watching the games against Argentina, that guy was solid at center. I'm one of those guys, I kind of like that perfect blend of speed and aggression at center. I've kind of mentioned multiple times, I love Anton Leonard-Brown. I like those guys. I like those kind of guys that have the big body. They can bust it up, but they can also make good runs. A lot of people would bring up like a guy like Sonny Bill Williams. Sonny Bill Williams was good for offloading, and he was a good athletic guy, but I don't think he was like the greatest center by any means. I liked Malachi Fakatoa a little bit more as far as an All Black at center. But that was my selection at 12. The other center is a guy that, man, we all saw it last weekend. That offload to Dialente. Like that behind the back, that's a sign of you working with a guy for a very long time. When you can make behind the back passes and offloads, that right there just shows you know each other. You're picking each other's brain. And of course, that's Lukan Yom. That offload alone was probably the offload of the tournament. Everybody keeps talking about it. Wow, did you see that? Did you see that? Oh, we all saw it, man. It was absolutely beautiful. And I really was not disappointed. That last game, our centers, I think, were a really big game changer as well. Him and Dialende. But he ended up being my other center. So we'll go back through a real quick little recap. We got Tate, McDermott, Pollard, Mapimpi, Kelloway, Kerevi, and I forgot at 15. Don't think there's any question of who this guy belongs to, but of course, the guy who I actually personally think is the more talented of the three brothers now, and that's Jordy Barrett. God, what a boot that guy has, man. He has really, every time I think that he's kind of hit his peak, he does something else that reminds you that, no, I haven't hit my peak quite yet. Just keep watching. I'll get there in a little bit. Man, what a boot on that guy. What some speed, power, all that. Perfect blend, height, size, everything. He's just great. I think Jordy Barrett was definitely the best 15 fullback at this entire tournament. And I don't think there's too many people that would disagree with me on that one. So that was my backs. Now we move up to the forward pack. And this was where it got really, really hard to not be biased, just because, like, man, we're solid. This team is solid in that front row. Even in the games we lost, our front forward pack was solid. It's kind of just been part of the game plan for a number of years with the Springbok. And it was a bit hard to make some of these picks because it was like, oh man, why are you picking, so many guys? But it was just kind of, I tried to be as unbiased as possible. But we will go ahead and start at number 1, and that was Stephen Kitsolf, for the Republic of South Africa. I was kind of talking to some guys about this game this last weekend on YouTube, and then just kind of, out and about here for the few rugby people I run into. Man, what a master stroke that was at the 38th minute. I think we've all kind of wondered about Jacques Ninaber's, selection process, and man, what's this guy thinking? Is he loco? Is he crazy? Changing out that front row in the 38th minute was a game changer. And as much as, you get those guys like Nakane and all these guys, bringing those guys in really, really changed the pace of the game. And as Springbok fans, we saw it. Like, that was a clever gambit. I think the master stroke was the Stern and the Elton Yankees. But what a clever gambit that was. It was a gamble that paid off very well. So that's why I've got Kitsolf at number 1 as my hooker. And then if we go to our props, I am going to go with Malcolm Marx, a guy who scored quite a bit for the Springboks, obviously, and Taniela Tupou of Australia. Both boys, big bodies, both a little bit different in their size. I mean, Tupou's a little bit more of a smaller type guy. Marx is a proper strapping young man, and I think both played solid in this entire tournament. And like I said, it was really hard to not just pick an entire, Springbok, first, second, third row. But that was a one that I just kind of felt like, hey, he did play absolutely spectacularly in this tournament, and he did deserve a bit of praise for it. Then we move to our next row, our locks, and I've seen a lot of people put like Brody Retallick in this, and yeah, he did play very, very well. And almost everybody universally has put Lud de Jager. I have Lud de Jager in mine. That is my number 5. I actually put Etzebeth as my number 4 too, just because. Go back and watch all 6 games in the tournament. Look at how many times Etzebeth came off. Yeah, that guy's a soldier, man. Busted face. He comes off in the last game with a busted face. I get on social media and I find a photo of him, and yes, indeed, he does have a nice little strip of stitches on his face. The guy's just a workhorse, and him and de Jager at the lineouts, that was kind of really key. You can kind of see that they look at each other, and I mean, it's almost as if, I don't want to bring up the comparison of the combo with Buta and Matfield, because that was just the perfect blend of brains and brawn. But I think a lot of people look at Etzebeth as a bit of a goon, is what we would say if it was hockey. I think he's a bit of a thinker. I think he thinks a lot more than people think that he does. I think he studies teams a lot more than people think. I think he really does. He's not just a big dumb tall guy. I think he's actually a pretty smart chap when it comes to the game. And him and de Jager were, instrumental in our line-out success. They just knew where to be, when to be, what needed to happen, and that's why I picked them as my locks. Then we go to our flankers and or Lucy's, however you want to call it. And I have made some interesting picks there. I'm not necessarily totally interesting, but I am going at 6 and 7 with Franco Mostert and Michael Hooper. Unquestionably, Michael Hooper was the best 7 in this entire tournament. That man is earning his paycheck, and I do tip my hat to him as being, he is very, very solid at his position. I sometimes wonder if he's overpaid a bit. I did not wonder that after this tournament. He is making exactly what he deserves to make. He is exactly, the captaincy is his. He does lead 100% by example. And I picked Franco Mostert just because it was another kind of thing like an Etzebeth. The guy was just a machine. He played the entire, you know what I mean? Like, you never saw him really, he was in every game. Like, he was in the mix every time. And that's what I like. I don't need the stats to totally back it up. I need a guy that, like, does his job, holds it down, and is dependable at his position. Now we get to the final position on the forward pack, and it was really, really hard to pick this one just because Dwayne Vermeulen is my second favorite player in the world, and he did do pretty damn good. You know, he wasn't flashy this last game. He definitely made a bigger difference, but I had to look at the tournament as a whole, and I had to end up going with Artie Savea of New Zealand. The guy getting his captaincy. I really wonder what's about to happen when Sam Cane comes back for them. I personally am of the belief that I don't think Sam Cane sticks around very long. I think he's injury prone, and I can go on a quick little tangent about that. I don't think Fozzie named him captain because he thought that's going to be the captain of the team. I think he named Sam Cane captain because he knew he'd have a bit of time to fumble around with his team, knowing that he knew Cane wasn't going to, he's injury prone at this point in his career. It would be like selecting, you know, the All Blacks going out and picking Nihi Miller Scooter at this point. You know he's not going to play. He's injury prone. And I kind of wonder if that's really what was going on in Fozzie's brain when he picked Sam Cane. I know he is a Waikato guy, but he had to have known that he was going to get injured. It's just a matter of time. It's just kind of the thing about Sam Cane. Now, no disrespect to Sam Cane. I think he's a great rugby player, but he is a bit injury prone now. You had his neck injury, then he had a shoulder injury, and now he's coming back from that, playing in the Heartland Championship there in New Zealand. But it really gave a chance for Artie Savea to really shine, and I think it's kind of funny and ironic that we think about 2015, and man, dude, like, Julian was like the darling of that tournament. I think he had the most points in that tournament, and how quickly he fell off, and was replaced by Rico Iwani, and then, you know, it's just, you just kind of see these things that happen. But Artie really did play his butt off this tournament. He really did impress me as a fan, and he's really starting to come into his own. He's becoming a world-class forward and number 8, and I just hope that they don't fumble with him too much, with Cane possibly coming back into the fold. But yeah, that is it, guys. That's my 15. I'll write it down under the video here so you guys can kind of go through and compare and tell me what you think. Maybe tell me where I was wrong. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have a lot of people saying no Andre Pollard, but that was just me, my personal preference. I did not want to pick Quade Santini Cooper, and I didn't see enough from Bowden Barrett or Nicolas Sanchez or Richie Mo'unga or Damian McKenzie or any of these guys. I just didn't see enough of those guys to really make a proper opinion of them. And one last thing, guys. I have opened an Instagram. You can find me on Instagram by just typing in my my YouTube channel name, the Fairweather Rugby Fan 3 X's. And I just, another thing that has been brought up, what do the 3 X's mean? So in the music world, in the hardcore punk community, you have a subculture called the straight edge subculture. Some of you guys who watch wrestling, WWE wrestling, might remember a guy named CM Punk. He'd have the X's on his. CM Punk was a practitioner of that particular lifestyle, and what the lifestyle is that you abstain from drugs, alcohol, tobacco usage, that kind of thing. And I do not drink, I do not smoke, and I don't do drugs. So that's why I have the X's at it, because it's just kind of like my little niche that I do, is that, hey, this guy doesn't do drugs or anything, or smoke cigarettes or do tobacco or any of that. And I just kind of, I think it's good to be drug free. I'm just not a big fan of it. Like, I got nothing against people that drink, or I'm not a preachy guy or anything, but it's just kind of part of my whole little thing that I like to kind of say, hey, the drug free guy. But yeah, that's the X's behind it. So if you want to get on there and follow me on Instagram, I will probably be using it to post rugby memes that I get sent by people or that I find on the internet, or any day-to-day activities that I have going on in the rugby world, or going to Safa restaurants or going to festivals or anything like that. I will use it to kind of post that there, and you guys can reach out to me there. And if you ever have any questions, obviously you can email me, you can hit me on there, and I will be proud to talk with you. But that's that for this. We have a weird weekend coming up. No more Rugby Championship. We have the URC going into round 3. I've already kind of been able to watch a few games of that, and damn, that officiating is bad. You guys can find it on, their officiating is bad in that. But it's exciting. It's a new tournament, and we finally, one last thing, finally signed a South African for the Dallas Jackals. You can go on there. I will post it on my Instagram. They finally signed a guy that was out of Vrystaat University, Free State University, and also a Blue Bulls Academy player. Has been here for a bit, but we have brought a young man from Pretoria over to the Dallas Jackals. I'm absolutely excited. Whenever we go do a meet the team, I will definitely have to meet that guy and kind of chit-chat with him a bit, and kind of welcome him to North Texas as a bit of an ambassador to the sport here. But yeah, so I hope everyone has a great rest of the week. I'm about to eat me some breakfast, then I got to get ready to head into work, and I will talk to all of you again very, very soon. Cheers, guys.